Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Noble, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my Generator deck profile. So the Generators are a lot of fun to play. If you haven't had a chance to check them out, basically it's a deck full of boss monsters. And the really cool thing about them is you can take them out of this deck, and they'll be a good addition and a good boss monster for their respective archetype. Like there's Plant, Worm, Beast Warrior, Machine. I think I'm Rock. I think I might be leaving one out as well. They're a lot of fun to play. They're budget, super budget, with the exception of Mardell. I think she's sitting at 14 apiece now. She was a little more expensive, but she's the most expensive card. You only really need two of her anyway, so it's not really a big deal. But without further ado, guys, let's jump right on into this. I really hope you enjoy it because I have had a blast putting this one together, and really, this is one of my favorite decks so far. It's a whole lot of fun to play. So to start off with, we're going to be playing two Mardell Generator Boss of Light. So this one's really good, probably the best one in my opinion. Definitely the most expensive. Like I said, it's probably I think at about $14 a piece. Now might have jumped up. Haven't checked in about a week or two. But she's super searchable with Lone Fire Blossom, so you could probably get away with playing one of this one. I just like her too. But what she does is you can only control one Mardell Generator Boss of Light. Now all of them have that, caveat to them. You can only control one of each. So for now, I'm just going to skip that, save a little bit of time, but just let you know they all do have that. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one generator card or one plant monster from your deck and add it to your hand. Except another copy of this card, you can only use this effective Mardell Generator Boss of Light once per turn. So just the fact that you can add any card from your deck to your hand, any generator card from your deck to your hand, or even plant. Now I've been really flirting with putting this card in my Black Rose Dragon deck, or even another plant deck I'm going to be profiling soon. This is a really great plant card, and the fact that its search is not just stipulant upon a special summon, it's also a normal summon as well, and that's really good. Anytime you can search anything from your deck and add it to your hand is great. So for the next two, we're playing two Nidhogg, Generator Boss of Ice. I'm probably butchering that. But when your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters, quick effect, you can treat one generated monster or one worm monster, negate the summon, and if you do, destroy that monster or monsters. You can only use this effective Nidhogg Generator Boss of Ice once per turn. So this is really, really good. It can really lock out your opponent. I played a Cyber Dragon deck 2 weekends ago, and that effect alone really gave my opponent some trouble just because they knew that I could negate a special summon, and that's really great. And it combos really well with our field spell and the tokens that we get out. So next up, I'm playing two Naglfar Generator Boss of Ice. I know. Most people play this at one. I just really like this card, so I played it too. And if you want to play one, that's totally fine as well. I love it. It's one of my favorite generators. His artwork is just straight up gorgeous. You can only, like I said, you can only control one of these. If a card or cards you control will be destroyed by battle card effect, you can destroy one generator monster or one beast warrior monster you control instead. And you can only use this effective Naglfar Generator Boss of Fire once per turn. So he's the strongest out of all of them at 3100 attack, and he has protection. So that's great. Like I said, if you want to bump him down and maybe throw in the third Ash, that's totally fine as well. For the next up, I'm playing two. I have no idea how to say this. Utgarda? I don't know how to say that. Generator Boss of Delusion. Now this is the newest one that we've gotten. What it does is, quick effect, you can tribute two generator monsters and or rock monsters. You want to throw it in your Adamantipator deck. Just kidding. You can target one card on the field and banish it. And this is really good because we don't really have a built-in back row removal in this deck. And if you're not running Twin Twisters or something, this is a really great option because it basically Cosmic Cyclones any card. So that's really great, especially like I said, with the combo off with our field spell, because the generator tokens, basically being able to tribute two of those and then banish the card. That's really good because it's just a straight plus for us. Next up, I'm playing two Frody Generator Boss of Swords. I really wish they would have made this one a secret rare. Like, gosh, I really hope this sometime gets a reprint of secret rare, because that's a gorgeous card. What this one does is you can tribute any number of generator monsters and or warrior monsters, then target that many monsters on the field and destroy them. Then your opponent can draw cards equal to the number of monsters destroyed on their field. You might be thinking, why in the world would I want to do that? This is plus for my opponent for getting cards in their hand, but it's not, because you'll see later, but basically we really benefit off of our opponent drawing extra cards. I'm playing one Divulgus Generator Boss of Iron. Probably not saying that right. But what this one does is you can tribute any number of generator monsters and or machine monsters, special summon from your hand in defense position, exactly that many generator monsters and or machine monsters, all with different names from each other. and from the Tribute monster. So, this is good, just getting more bodies on the field. But I actually don't really find myself using this one too often. Like, I really don't, like maybe once every 3 duels or so. I really run this one at 1. If you want to bump it up, you can. It's not a terrible idea. I personally just don't really find myself using this one as much as the other ones. And then I'm playing one Hela, Generaider Boss of Doom. What she does is you can contribute a Generaider monster or 1 zombie monster, then target 1 Generaider monster or 1 zombie monster in your graveyard with a different name than the attributed monster had on the field and special summon that monster defense position. So she's just basically getting more bodies from the graveyard and recycling them back to the field, and that's really good. I guess you could play her at 2. I think she's a good one-of personally. We're playing 3 Lone Fire Blossom just because they are basically 3 more copies of Mardell. It's Generator Boss of Light. If you open up a Lone Fire Blossom, you immediately have a Mardell, and that's great. And I just really love this card. You could probably bump it down to 2, but I want to see Mardell as fast as I possibly can, so I am running it at 3. And then for the last 2, just 2 Ash, because we do play a low monster count, so just more disruption. If you want to run this at 3, you could probably get rid of an Utgarda or a Naglfar, or one of the other hard to say Generaider monsters, but basically I'm only running 2 right now because I didn't want to go any more than 43. But we do play a low monster count. This is only 17, but they're all really searchable, so it's not really going to be a big deal. So moving on to the spells, we do play quite a bit of spells. We're playing the most important spell in the entire deck, 3 Generaider Boss Stage. This card, I think it's at $9. It was at like 10 or something. I pulled one in, gosh, I don't remember what it said it came out in, but I pulled one and I had to order the other 2. And it wasn't too terrible. They really spiked at one time, but they've kind of settled back down now. But this one does a lot. What it does is once per turn, if a card or cards is added from the main deck to your opponent's hand, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 Generaider monster from your deck in defense position. That's what I was talking about with Frody, basically forcing our opponent to draw more cards. It does help them, but it really benefits us as well because we can get out any body from our deck to the field, and that's great. If you special summon a Generaider monster during your opponent's turn, except during the damage step, you can special summon as many Generaider tokens, Fairy, Light attribute, level 4, attack 1500, defense 1500, as possible in defense position, but destroy them during the end phase even if this card leaves the field. So basically it gives us fodder to activate and fire off our Generaider monsters' effects like Nidhogg and all that other really good stuff in Naglfar. So that's really great. And they have a little bit of attack, a 1500 attack and defense, and that's better than 0, so that's really cool. Running 1 Terraforming just to basically, running an extra boss stage because we want to see it as quickly as we can. Moving on from that, we're playing 3 Generaider Boss Quests. This card is really cool. God, the artwork is so beautiful. So beautiful. You reveal 1 Generaider monster from your hand, and if you do, add up to two Generaider spells and traps with different names from each other from your deck to your hand, except Generaider Boss Quest. Then you place the revealed card on the bottom of your deck, and you can only activate 1 Generaider Boss Quest per turn. So it's really good to be able to search out if we need anything, and we're able to put the if it doesn't hurt us to put that card on the bottom of the deck. This is a really great card because most of the time it's not going to be a problem activating this card at all, and it's just a really straight plus. This is a great card. Next up, playing 3 War Legacy Monstrosity. This card, I feel like it was made for this deck. It was so perfect for this deck, and it's gone down in price. I think it's about $3 now, something like that. What it does is a quick play spell. You can activate one of these effects, special summon 1 level 9 monster from your hand. You can target 1 level 9 monster you control, special summon from your deck 2 level 9 monsters, each with different original type and attribute from that face-up targeted monster, with different names from each other, but these 2 monsters cannot attack, also destroy them during the end phase. And you only activate 1 War Legacy Monstrosity per turn, but that's not a big deal because we're probably going to be going into Jormungandr or True King immediately as soon as we do this. But this card is so great. It helps out the consistency of the deck so much, guys. I really recommend running through this. You will not be disappointed. Playing 1 Monster Reborn just to help out. I'm playing 1 Upstart just to be able to dig a little bit deeper into our deck. Now, if I had Paw of Extravagance, I would run 3 of them probably. I don't, and I ain't going to buy them until they go down eventually. So I'm just running 1 Upstart right now and then replacing the other spots. But if you had them and want to do that, that's fine. If you want to run if you want to run a Pot of Avarice, that's fine as well. I personally just don't really want to, so I'm just running 1 Upstart. For the last 3, we're just playing 3 Call by the Grave. Just to be able to stop our opponent's hand traps because we do search a lot. We do summon, a lot. We're doing a lot of stuff, and we don't want to get ashed, and we want to get our True King or Youngmagander out on the field. Probably not saying it right. Out on the field. So personally, I think 3 Call by the Grave is really important in this deck. Just like really any deck, honestly. If you're going to be competitive, you really probably need to be running 3 Call by the Grave. But moving on to the traps, we only play a few traps. We're running 3 Generator Boss Fight. This card's really good. You can activate Generator Field spell directly from your deck or graveyard, and then your opponent draws a card. So it's really good because it activates it, and then our opponent draws a card, so that resolves in the way that we get the effects. And that's great. And the fact that you can do it from your graveyard as well is fantastic. You don't have to worry about like running out in your deck because you have this card face down. Sorry guys, I keep hiccuping. I don't know what it is. I don't hiccup it all throughout the day, but as soon as I start recording, I just straight hiccup. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm running 2 Generator Boss Room. Now you could bump this down. This is one of the cards you can bump this down if you want to run a 3rd Ash. You could definitely bump this one down to 1. But what it does is a continuous trap. When your opponent activates a card or effect in response to the activation of your generator card or effect, you can discard 1 card. Your opponent's activated effect becomes each player draws 1 card. You can only use this effect to generate boss room once per turn. So basically, like, just straight up screwing over your opponent if they activate anything in response. We both get to draw a card, and then our effects go off, and that's really good. Alright, for the next 3, I'm playing probably my favorite card in the entire deck. There can only be 1. This card is straight up broken in this deck because you can only control each of your generators anyway. So you might as well be benefiting off of that. Like I played my buddy's Cyber Dragon deck, which I'll be profiling soon, by the way, so be looking out for that. And I played this and it straight up shut him down. Like, he was so mad because he just couldn't play anything else. But I had a full board because I can get as many as my generators out on the field as I want. So this works really great for hires. It works even better in this one because it's just better. But there can only be 1 is a really great card. I really recommend you running 3 of this. It like really can win you the game fast. I'm running 2 Solemn Judgments just because I don't want my opponent having a response to anything I do. If you wanted to run this at 3, you could definitely take out a boss room if you wanted to do that. But I kind of think 2 is enough, really. I can see them as many times as I need to, so I think this is good. Alright, so moving on into the extra deck, we are playing 3. I'm definitely gonna butcher this. I think it's Yourmagander. I really think it's Yourmagander from that Big Snake in God of War. I really think that's what this is from, but I am probably totally wrong. But anyway, this card is crazy. 2+ level 9 monsters. You can only control 1 Yourmagander Generator Boss of Eternity. This card's original attack and defense because 1,000 times its number of materials. Quick effect. You can detach 1 material from this card. Each player draws a card. Then each player that drew attaches 1 card from their hand or field to this card. You can only use this effective Yourmagander Generator Boss of Eternity once per turn. So this card is going to get big fast. Just being able to force our opponent to draw a card, which will fire off our boss stage, and then forcing them to have to either attach something from their hand or field to this card is really crazy. Like, if they don't have anything in their hand, they're going to have to, they're going to draw a card, but they don't want to use that card, they're going to have to use one of their monsters or something on the field. And this is going to be a really problematic card for your opponent. I love resolving this effect. It's great. Next 3, I'm playing 3 True King of All Calamities. This card is just, gosh, this card is crazy. Like, this card can really shut out your opponent, and it's so perfect in this deck. It's 2+ level 9 monsters. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card and declare 1 attribute. This turn, all face-up monsters on the field become that attribute, and all monsters your opponent's possession with that attribute cannot activate their effects or attack. And then monsters, True King, True Draco monsters. Second effect, we don't use that because we don't have those. But it's really, really great. Like, this card is just, I really want this card so many times because the thing about this effect is it's when your opponent summons something even after you resolve this effect for that turn, if it hits the field, it becomes that attribute. So they can't get by it with like getting rid of their monsters and then summoning new things and then if they're their original attribute. No, if you say water, everything that hits the field that turn is going to be water. And then your opponent can't resolve any monster effects at all or activate them. And that's a straight lockout. Like, this card with there can only be 1, god, that's game. Like, that's just game. So I'm playing 1 Number 92, Heart Earth Dragon. This card, I've had this card for a long time, and it just recently really shot up in price. But this is a really good card for this deck because it's 3 level 9 monsters. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes any battle damage you have taken from battles involving this card. During your opponent's end phase, you can detach 1 material from this card. Banish all cards your opponent currently controls that were normal or special summon or reset this turn. Basically, banishes everything your opponent has, like pretty much. If this card is destroyed while it has material, you can special summon this card from the graveyard, and if you do, it gains 1,000 attack for every card currently banished. Like, this card comboed off if you're playing against Thunder Dragons. Good lord. This is going to be a big boy. This is going to be a big boy. But this is a really good card. I really like it a lot. I think it combos really great with this deck. You won't go into it a ton. You're probably going to be trying to go into True King more than anything. But just having this as an option is really good because it can really like screw over your opponent. Just for the rest of like kind of generic links I'm playing. 1 Barricade Board Blocker just because of the field spell. 1 Underclock Taker. 1 Nightmare Cerberus. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. 1 Nightmare Unicorn. 1 Decode Talker. Whoa. 1 Saruja, and then 1 Boral Sword. Now, if you wanted to get rid of one of these for like Avermax or Abeluso, something like that, that's fine because we do get a lot of eyes on the field, and that'd be totally good as well. But this has been working really great for me. That's it for the deck, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I have had, like, this is just one of my favorite decks. It really is. It's just a bunch of really big boss monsters that have really cool effects and can really screw over your opponent, and they're easy to get out, and their artwork's great. Like, what's not to like about this deck? But yeah, guys, that's it. I really hope you guys enjoy it. You should really, look into picking it up if you haven't had a chance to. With the exception of Mardell and Boss Stage, everything else is relatively cheap. I think Boss Stage sent about $7, at least it was last week, I think. And then Mardell sent about 14. But if you can afford that, definitely look into getting this deck, guys. It's just a blast. Let me know what you guys think. How much you like this deck. Have you played against this deck? Did you have trouble with it? If you like the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And since you're here, is a great time to go ahead and subscribe. I'll be coming out with more deck profiles every single week. I try to upload multiple times a week. But that's it, guys. Also hit the notification bell and become a part of the notification team, and I'll see everyone in the next video.